wherever you're choosing to be and put your energy into is going to be blessed. It's really, really neat. And I don't want to make you like uncomfortable.
I know. Well, I'm getting excited actually.
But it's real. It's really real. And so for me, as an experienced person who's also been through a lot, you're exciting for me to interact with too, because then we can engage bigger thoughts.
Yeah.
We can develop more on the outside and also on the inside. We can help people and pass them to each other, and they can have fun with that as well. Welcome to Taste Your Magic. I'm Ruth Barclay. They call me the Oracle around the world. I've been doing this work for over 25 years. We're almost to 30 now. And I work with people of all levels, all gifts. And what we're doing in this episode is we're doing a reading. We call them oracle readings, which is anything about you, your gifts, your life, your path, anything about you. We do animal readings as well, where we talk to your animals. And then we also have angel connections, where we speak with your loved ones. And today we have Stacy with us. And I'm so happy that you're able to make it so fast and quick. And we've known each other just a little bit, not like a long time, but I love watching you and who you are with your family and the fun that you guys have. And I really appreciate that you brought yourself here to be on my channel and share some. So what is something that you would love to know about? How can we support you?
Well, first off, thank you so much for having us. No, I mean, it's tough to get away during the day, but I was just like, this is kind of the year of the yes. Just, I'm one of those people that's really, really busy all the time. And so it's like, oh no, I can't do that. I can't do that. But you can get, it's good to say no. But I was like, this year when something comes up, I'm just going to say yes, because it's meant to happen. So.
And you responded really fast, which I was really excited.
I know.
I was like, I don't even know if they're going to be able to make it. They're so busy. And then, yeah.
I saw it. I was like, yep. I'm going to do it. We're going to figure it out. So anyways,
thank you.
Yeah, we're excited. So, plus we haven't seen you for a while. So
I know. I want to go play. Really, actually, I really want to go play. So we'll schedule that after this.
As far as what I'm like looking for, that type of thing. So I have 4 boys, and my oldest is 21 and my youngest is 9. And just working my whole life, and then also raising boys, and my husband and I actually work together. I got to this point a couple years ago where I just felt like, it's common kind of with women my age. They think, wait, who am I? Who am I outside of my children? Who am I outside of my husband? Who am I outside of any of this? We also have 4 dogs, which I don't know why. So I just feel like this year, I've been waffling around in that for the last couple of years. And this year I'm just ready to take tangible steps to branch into what I'm going to be passionate about, where I can be of most good to not only my loved ones and my family, but to the world, the collective, all of that. So
yeah, this is really good. And the way this year has evolved is, like, last year was just a clearing out of things. It was the no year. It was the year of like, okay, boundaries. What are we going to establish? Where does this work? Where doesn't this work? And I love that you brought this into this year, because now it's like you're being pushed into, we all are being pushed into our decisions that we've chosen from last year. And for you, what keeps coming in is just power inner steps, power inner steps. So when you move forward, so much beautiful power that your footprints stay for people to follow. And as I witness what they're showing me, I just see you as this kind of cliche goddess, right? But a real goddess that's just moving through life as her in a playful manner, but also in when people have real life experience and somebody is coming to them. So you have a lot of real life experience. And if I was coming to you to ask you a question, you wouldn't have to say a lot. You'd be like, I understand. here are some options for you. And I, asking you, would be able to kind of grab a hold of those and feel it easier. Whereas some people, they might know a lot because they've studied a lot, or they've heard a lot, or they've taken a lot of courses or something. And it's hard to grab their information. But with you, if anybody asks you something or puts themselves in your presence, it's almost like you're a safe area that they can be held in whatever information they need. And you don't even need to give it to them. So tell me a little bit of what you're hearing.
Well, I'm hearing that, first off, I do actually tend to ramble a lot. Well, I more so in writing because I love to write.
Ooh, that's neat.
I love to, put it all out there. So I'm hearing finding a way to pare that down, that I don't need to over explain, that none of that, all of that is not actually my gift. My gift is more simplicity and directness, from what you're saying, where people could hear the message potentially better than if someone else or myself was over explaining, over giving the information. I know it sounds cliche, but I want to help other people. There are some really hard things that I've gone through. I mean, I'll probably be going through them my whole life, but ways that I've been able to overcome and not only survive, but finding ways to open up my heart. And I really want to help people who go through the same type of things. I want to be some sense of support to them. So I'm trying to figure out where and how that is, I think.
Yeah. Well, have you wrote a book yet?
I haven't, and I've had a couple of people tell me that I need to, and I'm like,
the book.
I know. Well, it's just because it's such a huge undertaking, but I do love writing. That's the thing. It sparks something in me that makes me feel more alive and all of that. So
it's beautiful. Anything that you're choosing into is going to be less effort from you, but substantial movement for others. So it's just your imprint, wherever you're choosing to be, whoever you're choosing to be in that moment with, it's like anchoring in to this physical life. And so it's almost like the best way that I can say is like when people would see Christ and he would hold them and they just start to weep because they understood that this was a safe place. He understood me. And he didn't need to say a lot, right? It's almost like that's what I feel with you is you've been through so much and you've made it through and you can articulate really well. And so people need that experience to just be able to, they can feel it, right? And so if you write a book, it's going to have it. If you speak in front of people on stages, it's going to have it. If you hold women's groups, it's going to have it. Wherever you're choosing to be and put your energy into, it's going to be blessed. It's really, really neat. And I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
I know. Well, I'm getting excited actually.
But it's real. It's really real. And so for me, as an experienced person who's also been through a lot, you're exciting for me to interact with too, because then we can engage bigger thoughts.
Yeah.
We can develop more on the outside and also on the inside. We can help people and pass them to each other and they can have fun with that as well. So your next steps is really the biggest message that I can give to you is you have such a space that's supported all around you, and anybody that's you're wanting to interact with, just remember that it's less effort for you, but more of that aligned movement. And if you do that, it's like she takes one step forward and the universe is going to bring it 1,000 steps to her. And then she just has to breathe it in. And your hardest part will be realization. Yeah. That it's really happening.
Well, I get in my mind a lot. And so I'm trying to really strengthen this connection so I can feel my intuition and all of those things in my body more. Yeah. Because, boy, my mind is like a hamster wheel sometimes, overthinking and all of that. So,
well, you're smart too. So you can combine that. And I can understand why it gets a little chaotic. But a lot of it is just
Trust.
seeing you. Like, you know, like how can we help her to experience herself is going to be the hardest thing for you, I think, is you need a lot of witnesses. So I get to be a witness of, yeah, this is real. Like, I feel it. I feel when you say something, I automatically feel like I should listen. When you start to move, I start like feeling like I could go move with her, right?
Oh,
because
I love that.
that's the energy movement of creation is coming through and from you, and it's being played. And there's so many things, animals, earth, angels, loved ones, like everything is articulating and moving for you to come through.
For me to show up? For me to walk into what has been waiting for me.
Yeah. So what's the fear that's coming up as we're talking about it?
Okay, so I do love astrology and all of that. I'm just really like security and safety is like my core need.
Yeah.
And as I've been expanding more into like curiosity and all of those things, I just have that pull that's just like, but you got to make sure everyone's counting on you. Again, 4 boys and all of that, like everybody ultimately looks to me to be the one to nurture and make sure everything's happening. And I just worry about, I got to be there for everyone. Do I have enough space?
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
That's my fear, is like kind of stepping beyond that need for safety and security, and not just for myself,
For them.
but for them too. But honestly, I mean, since most things are a projection, I want them to feel safe because it makes me feel safe, right?
Oh yeah, I get that.
You know, it's like, of course I want them to feel safe, but also like
helps me.
them being better helps me.
Okay, I can actually breathe for a minute and focus now on something else.
Right.
You've done a really, really good job.
Well, I've tried.
You've done a really good job already. There are going to be moments where you're in a role playing dynamic that's just asking, does this still need to be? Or can it be upgraded? Can it be different? And that's a mother. I'm playing a role as a mother, or this is what I always do at the home, or this is my role here. And when you recognize you're in a role, or you're pulling someone into a role, right? They might be doing their own thing. You'd be like, are you okay? And then you pull them into a role.
Okay.
The moment you can acknowledge that you're accepting into a role or pulling somebody into a role, your quickest way to understand what gets to happen in that in a pure light is to say, okay, I acknowledge I'm being the mother role or something like that. Is there a better or different way I could do this now? And with the intention of just upgrading that for freedom. And then that is going to show you, okay, well, this time, all you need to do is kind of step back and witness your boys or witness somebody instead of actually helping. Or this time, actually, Mom, can you stay out of it? Because we're trying to teach him something.
I know. Just want to fix everything.
And you're like, oh, no.
I know.
Yeah, I've got exes in my family. So that's been the biggest PowerPoint of me trying to realize, oh, where am I in this? And where is my daughter or my boys or anything like that is, you know, how do I not interfere with their growth? But at the same time, how do I get to show up powerfully for them?
Right. It's such a balance. And sometimes even if you're standing back and trying to be the witness, you end up, your mind is still playing the role, right? And so you're still expending the energy, you know? I think as I've tried to like be like, okay, I can't interfere, like allowing them to have the consequences for whatever choice they've made. But then, you know, you're like, okay, I'm not going to do anything. But your mind is still ruminating, thinking of possible, maybe even like quietly, covertly, like placing things. You know what I mean?
You do?
I mean, you're probably like, you're like subconsciously doing it. But I'm trying, like with what you're saying, it's like, I've got to tell myself, listen, you're still expending the energy.
Yeah.
It's just getting stuck now inside of you instead of, you know, having, you know, expending it physically and having it, you know, go out there in the world. I'm just building it up within myself to cause more inner turmoil.
I get it. I get it. So when you're asking that and you're asking how else could this be, you're also setting like a prayer negotiation.
Right.
If I do step back, I need my boy to be safe.
Yeah.
If I do step back, help my mind understand that it's our time for a minute and I can recommit. Every time you recognize it's going, hey, you can recommit. Okay, I'll recommit. Recommitting to things has saved me through like, that I'm a failure or I'm going to fail or something like that. If I can recommit, what does that mean to you?
Actually, I'm thinking of the opposite with that. Well, meaning to recommit means I allowed myself for a moment the grace to detach.
That's great.
You know, and I think attachment overall is probably something I really struggle with. Like allowing myself, if I know I need to recommit and I know that I've given myself that space to detach so that I can focus on myself or something else and not feel like all of the cords and things that are pulling me, you know, in all directions.
Yeah.
And that in that recommittal, like you're talking about, there's actually more power in coming back to something with more of a fresh perspective.
Yeah.
And more of a like, okay, I filled my cup and now I'm ready to recommit to what I need to do to be there for someone else.
Perfect.
So now actually doing that.
Yeah. Well, that's how you slow a big train down to turn and then get the momentum going again in a different direction. And your power in your movements right now, and your power in your decisions, and your power in your breath, even when you breathe into a space, is like the biggest message I get to give to you. It's so supported, that faith, trusting that and receiving the reasons why you're doing it.
Yeah. Allow. I think that's what it's like, allowing it. It's there. I gotta stop getting in my own way.
Don't we all?
I know. I do think with moms and stuff, we end up getting in our own way for a lot of reasons, but we're not helping ourselves or our loved ones when we do that. So
that's a weird thought, isn't it?
I know.
Like, how am I enabling this? I thought I was helping this. Yeah.
I know.
Thank you.
I know. Thank you.
Thanks for coming and sharing your insight, because it helps me also to kind of look back where am I maybe not letting myself also see, like, who am I again? Because I've also been through these movements and stuff like that. And it just reminded me, oh yeah, I get to recommit. And oh yeah, my daughters, you know, they're all growing up as well. And it's like, now I get to have different roles. And what are those? So thanks.
Yeah,
thanks for helping me also.
Gosh, thank you. This has been great. And I feel more energized and ready to attack whatever I feel drawn to. So
we're going to keep in touch after this, because I'm getting excited for Stacy and her next big movements here. And thank you for joining us on this episode of Taste Your Magic.